Wanted to talk about the difference between straight and fanned effect cakes and how important it is to know what the cake does. So this cake in the middle here is a straight firing cake. You can see on the top all the tubes are pointing straight up. So obviously when you secure this firework and it fires, each one of the effects is going to fire straight up in the air. Now it's easy to tell looking at this firework here, Skyjack's 25 shot, that it's a fanned cake. It's got the slanted sides, and on the front of this one, or the other side here, they actually depict that it's a fanned effect cake, and it shows you the angles there. And so this is a fanned effect. So what's essentially going to happen is this angle, that these shots here are going to go off at this angle, and it's going to sweep backwards and forwards. So it's always important when you fire and or lay out one of these fireworks and secure it, it's always important that you make sure the orientation of the firework is the right way round for your audience. Obviously it needs to be make sure that it's facing this way and not this way, because if you've got the fan the wrong way round, you don't want to be setting it up front to back, because then the shots are going to be firing towards your audience and away from you. And not only is it dangerous, obviously you're going to lose the effect because they're just going to go forwards and back. So from the perspective, they'll just look like they're firing straight up. But obviously it's easy to tell with these cakes that this one's a straight cake and this one is a fan cake. But sometimes, like this one here, it's a square box. There's no angled sides. It looks, for all intents and purposes, like it's a straight firing cake. So it's always important to make sure you read the instructions. And this one does say this side facing towards the spectators, and it has got the little fan diagram on it to tell you that there's a fan. But you know, sometimes it's easy to miss those things, so you can always just, if you're not too sure, have a little feel on the top to see, you know, are there any angled tubes, or even, you know, open up the top. It's quite safe to take the paper off the top. It won't affect the performance of the firework. And by opening the top of this cake up, we can clearly see that there's some angled tubes in there. There is actually some straight up tubes in this part of the cake, but the rest is angled. And obviously by looking at the tubes, we can ascertain which way the cake should be set up for our audience. So we know that it should be that way round, and the effects are going to fire left to right rather than that way round and over your audience's head and not look very spectacular. So if you're ever not sure whether a cake is fanned or not, have a feel of those tubes. And if you're still not sure, just take a bit of that paper or the foil off the top, have a little look. Of course, you might want to just pop the paper back on afterwards, but it won't affect the performance of the firework if you take it off. So that's just a quick look at fanned and straight firing cakes.